कोई डाउट है कल वाली क्लास से? कहाँ तक पहुँच गए थे हम लोग कल? हाँ, पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट। व्हाट इज पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, बताओ। व्हाट आर द फीचर्स, टेल मी। पीएमएन। इंडिया में क्या होता है? हम्म हम्म इंडिया में पीएम रियल एग्जीक्यूटिव है या प्रेसिडेंट? पीएम, चलो वेरी गुड। नेक्स्ट फीचर इज सिंथेसिस ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्री सोवर्निटी एंड जुडिशियल सुप्रीमेसी। Synthesis of parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. See, first try to understand the concept of doctrine of sovereignty of parliament. What is the meaning of doctrine of sovereignty of the parliament? Okay. Sovereignty of the parliament means parliament is sovereign, means nobody is above the parliament. For example, Britain. And judicial supremacy means judiciary is supreme. Nobody is above the judiciary. So parliamentary supremacy is a feature of British government. In Britain, parliament is supreme and sovereign, na? I told you yesterday. But in case of USA, it is judiciary that is supreme. But in case of India, India had adopted a balance between parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. And how that balance is maintained? See, whenever parliament will make a law, and if that law is against any provision of the basic structure or against the fundamental right, any law made by the parliament, if it is against the provision of basic structure and against the provision of fundamental right, then Supreme Court can declare it as null and void. That means parliament in India is not supreme, unlike Britain, where British parliament can create any law. So the concept of judicial review is there in India. That's why in India, parliament is not a sovereign body. Clear? And judicial supremacy means judiciary is supreme body. That is prevalent in USA. In USA, judiciary is supreme body. But in case of India, it is not. Judiciary is not supreme body. Judiciary is controlled by legislature as well as executive. Both control the judiciary in India. That's why Indian judicial system is not supreme in India. So we have adopted a synthesis between the parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. Clear? Now the next feature is integrated and independent judiciary. Integrated and independent judiciary. Don't write, I will dictate later. Integrated and independent judiciary. What is the meaning of integrated judiciary? What is the meaning of integrated judiciary? See, in case of USA, there are two courts, federal courts for the federal law and state court for the state law. And in India, the court, whether it is Supreme Court, High Court, whether it is Supreme Court, hmm. See, Indian judiciary is integrated plus independent, both. Integrated and independent, both. And what is the meaning of integrated judiciary? Independent judiciary is understood, na? Ki judiciary in India is independent, autonomous. And what is the meaning of integrated judiciary? See, at apex there will be Supreme Court. Supreme Court in India is at the top. Means all the decision of Supreme Court should be binding on the lower courts. So at the top level there is Supreme Court, and then High Court, and then lower court, and all these are integrated. Means any order passed by the Supreme Court would be binding on the High Court as well as lower judiciary. So that is the integrated. But in case of USA, in USA judiciary is independent, but for the federal law they have federal court, and for the state law they have state court. So that's the difference between Indian judiciary as well as and judiciary of USA. Clear? Now come to the next feature. And one important thing here is they have asked many questions regarding Supreme Court, and it is very important, and we will cover it in detail when we will be studying about the Supreme Court. But there are mainly three features which are important for Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal in India. What is the meaning of highest court of appeal? Suppose you are first going and file a complaint in lower court, and you want to go against the verdict of lower court, then you will move to high court, and then finally you will move to Supreme Court. So this is the Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal. And second one is it is the guarantor of the fundamental right. Guarantor of fundamental right means I have told that if any law made by the parliament is inconsistent with the provisions of the fundamental right or against the provision of the fundamental right, then Supreme Court will declare that law as null and void. Clear? That's why Supreme Court is called as guarantor of the fundamental rights. And also Supreme Court is the guardian of the constitution. So what is the meaning of guardian of the constitution? I told you na ki there are some basic features of the constitution, and parliament is not allowed to make any law to bypass those basic features. Means any law made by the parliament, if it is against the spirit of basic structure of the constitution, then that law would be declared as null and void by the judiciary, by the Supreme Court. Supreme, you got the importance of Supreme Court. So these are the mainly three importance of Supreme Court. Clear? Now the next feature is Indian Constitution provide some fundamental rights. Fundamental rights. Clear? And fundamental rights are borrowed from which country? USA. Okay. And it is in part 3 of Indian Constitution. Write down, it is in part 3. Or don't write, I will dictate in later. First try to understand. It is, there are many parts in Indian Constitution, and fundamental right is mentioned in the part 3 of the Indian Constitutions. And there are basically 6 fundamental rights. There are basically 6 fundamental rights in Indian Constitution given to people of India, as well as few fundamental rights to the foreigners also. Okay. So first one is right to equality, second one is right to freedom, and third one is right against exploitation, and fourth one is right of freedom of religion, and fifth one is cultural and educational right, and sixth one is right to constitutional remedies. We will study all these fundamental rights in detail when we will be studying about the fundamental rights. I am just giving you the overview or the salient feature of the Indian Constitution. What are there in the Indian Constitution? What are the specification of the Indian Constitution? ठीक है? Now next feature is directive principles of state policy. From now I will be dictating DPSP. DPSP means directive principles of state policy. So it is in part 4. Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Clear? And directive principles are the fundamental for the governance in this country. After fundamental right, we will move to directive principles of state policy, and we will study it in detail. And they can be further classified into 3 parts. Directive principles of state policy can be classified as socialist DPSP, means those DPSP which promote socialism. Then Gandhian DPSP. And then liberal intellectual. Clear? And these DPSPs are fundamental to the governance of the country. And Bhimrao Ambedkar said that the DPSPs are the novel feature of the Indian Constitution. It has been asked by the state PSC's exams. Clear? When we will finish DPSP, then we will move to next feature, and that is fundamental duty. See, in original constitution there was no provision of fundamental duty. It has been introduced in the Constitution of India by the recommendation of Sovereign Singh Committee. On whose recommendation? Sovereign Singh Committee in 1976. Clear? Initially, when the constitution was enacted, there was no provision of fundamental duties. And the concept is borrowed from USSR, and DPSP is borrowed from which country? Tell. Ireland, na? Fundamental right from USA, DPSP from Ireland, and fundamental duty from USSR. And in 1976, when the fundamental duties were introduced, there were 10 fundamental duties. Clear? But one more fundamental duty was introduced. One more fundamental duty was introduced in 2002 by 86th Constitutional Amendment. 86th Constitutional Amendment was done in 2002, and one more fundamental duty was added. And these are in part 4A. Fundamental duties are in part 4A. Why part 4A? Because original constitution में ये नहीं थे, तो बाद में अमेंड किया, तो फंड DPSP के बाद इसको लगा दिया, तो पार्ट 4 DPSP है, तो पार्ट 4A ठीक है, फंडामेंटल ड्यूटी. So as of now, how many fundamental duties are there in Indian Constitution? 10 or 11? 11. And last one was added in 2002. Now come to the next feature. Next feature is secular state. See, Indian constitution is secular. Yeah, you can say that India has been a secular country since ancient time. Whether it is rule of Ashoka, or whether it is rule of Akbar, or whether it is rule of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, most of the king and most of the prince in Indian history has been secular, except few. Why? Because tolerance is an idea of India. India has been tolerant to various religion, various tradition, various culture, and various beliefs since ancient time. But when our constitution maker wanted to create an India, they wanted to create a secular India. That's why they gave many provision in the constitution of India which enforces secular state in India. For example, right to equality. Right to equality is a fundamental right under Article 14 to 18. Clear? Right to equality means you will not be discriminated by the reason of your religion. Everyone is equal. Clear? And Article 25 to 28. Religious freedom given to every person. And it is a fundamental right. Then Article 29 to 30 to protect their culture, whether it is linguistic minority or religious minority. So these features promote India as a secular state. And then Article 44, you will learn automatically these articles after some times. जैसे मुझे याद हो गया है तो ऐसे तुम लोग को भी याद हो जाएगा. डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट कि ये आर्टिकल्स याद नहीं हो रहे हैं. ठीक है, यू विल स्टडी एंड अल्टीमेटली यू विल बी एबल टू लर्न आफ्टर मल्टीपल रिवीजन. So Article 44 is a DPSP which ensure uniform civil code. The state shall try to introduce uniform civil code for its citizen. So uniform civil code means what? Secular state. Protection of religious minority means what? Secular state. Right to equality means what? Secular state. And also in India there is universal adult suffrage ना, universal adult franchisee. बताया था ना कल. Adult franchisee means क्या? कि all the person who are adult can cast their vote. That is universal adult suffrage, universal adult franchise, irrespective of his religion. इसमें religion का कोई रोल ही नहीं है. So we can say that Indian constitution is secular, which is trying to promote India as a secular state. But you will be amazed to know that the word secular or secularism was not there in the original constitution. In the preamble, originally there was no mention of secular state. Clear? Secularism has been added by the amendment of 42nd constitutional amendment in 1976. But then doesn't mean India was not secular at the time of independence. Because these provisions which I told were earlier there in the constitution. Means 42nd constitutional amendment added the word secular in the preamble and made explicit what was already implicit in the Indian constitution. But the word secular was not there in the Indian constitution. Clear? Huh? And there is also a difference between Indian model of secularism and Western secularism. Indian model of secularism and Western secularism. See, what is the difference? Indian and Western. Indian model of secularism is positive secularism, whereas Western model is called as negative secularism. Clear? Why positive secularism? There is a positive relation between state and religion. Means in India, state will promote every religion equally, whereas in Western concept, state and religion both are separate. And in India, every state got equal protection from the state. Every religion, sorry. For example, in case of India, see, here Indian government is giving security to Kavod Yatra, which has been started. At the same time, giving security to the people who are offering namaz at the time of Eid. And UP government is also giving subsidy few years ago to those people who are going for Hajj. At the same time, government is offering some free pilgrimage to the older people. These things are not there in the Western society, in the Western countries. They have watertight separation between state and religion. And in case of India, it is not watertight separation. They are interrelated with each other in a positive manner. Is that clear? Now come to the next feature, that is universal adult franchise. I have explained it now. Universal adult franchise. What is the meaning of universal adult franchise? Anyone? Franchise was of two type. One is universal, another one is limited. I have told you while I was teaching Government of India Act 1919, there was a provision of limited franchises on the basis of tax, property and education. But Indian Constitution offer universal adult franchise. ठीक है? In Government of India Act 1919, Britishers offered limited franchise na, on the basis of tax, property and education. But in independent India, our constitution make us give the provision of universal adult franchise. Means in case of India, every person above the age of 18 will be eligible to cast their vote. Earlier it was 21 year, but it has been reduced by Rajiv Gandhi government. Now it is 18 year. Clear? Means any person above the age of 18 in India can cast their vote. That is universal adult suffrage, universal adult franchise. Clear? Now come to the next feature of Indian Constitution. That is single citizenship. What is the meaning of single citizenship? Means center and state. Any citizen of India is a citizen of center, yani citizen of India only. Unlike USA. Why unlike USA? In USA, a citizen will be first a citizen of America and then he will be citizen of the state in which he is residing. In case of India, we are Indian citizen, na? We never say that we are citizen of UP. We are resident of UP is okay. कि we are living in UP. But we always say that we are citizen of India. हम भारत के लोग, we the people of India, not we the people of Maharashtra, we the people of Bihar and UP. So in case of India, it is single citizenship, unlike USA, where a person is citizen of USA as well as the state in which he is residing. Clear? Next feature is there are few independent bodies in the Constitution of India. What do you mean by independent bodies? Means they have the security of tenure, they have specified functions to perform. Okay. Their salary is charged from Consolidated Fund of India, that is not audible by the Parliament. Okay. They have freedom to choose their staff, to recruit their staff. Such bodies are like Election Commission of India, that is an independent body which ensure free and fair election. Election Commission is not working under any kind of pressure from the government because they are independent from the government. And then Comptroller and Auditor General of India. We will study in detail all these chapters later. Okay. Election Commission of India is given in Article 324 and CAG of India, Comptroller General of India is given in Article 148. You have to remember all these articles, and if you will revise multiple times, you will be able to learn all these articles. Clear? Then there is UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, under Article 315. Clear? Which is responsible for the recruitment or acting as a recruitment agency in India. You will give the exam which will be conducted by UPSC now for the recruitment due to the IS, IPS and other services. So these are independent bodies. At the same time, we also have State Public Service Commission along with Union Public Service Commission for the recruitment of officer for the state government like UPPSC, BPSC, Rajasthan PSC, MPPSC. So these are the independent bodies given in the Constitution of India. Now come to the next feature. Next feature is emergency provision in the Constitution of India. Emergency provision in the Constitution of India. There are three types of emergency given in the Constitution of India. How many types? Three types of emergency. ठीक है. First one is national emergency. National emergency under Article 352. And second one is President rule या state emergency given under Article 356 and financial emergency under Article 360. Clear? Clear na? Now come to the next and last feature, that is three tier of government in India. Three tier of government means union government, state government and local government. ठीक है? And local government were there in the Part 9 Panchayati Raj or Part 9A urban local bodies. So these are the few important salient features of the Indian Constitution. Clear? Any doubt? From any point you can ask. Clear? And we will study all these in detail. All the features. All the features are itself a chapter. So we will see the all the details while we will be studying all these features in the later lectures. Clear? Now you can draw the few diagram for your understanding. Then I will dictate what to write. See, first write this integrated plus independent judiciary. Clear? Write down and circle it in box. Then I will dictate. And be quick. Write down in your notes. ठीक है? Don't draw anything in your booklet. कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा हो किसी चीज का स्पेलिंग तो पूछ लेना. हो गया? हाँ, हो गया ना? Now draw this diagram. What is integrated judiciary? Means Supreme Court. This is integrated judiciary. Clear? Done? हाँ? Slide move करें? Draw this diagram. Fundamental right. Clear? Done? Just draw this diagram. It will be easy for you to remember. Draw this. बेटा वो बाद में कर लेना घर जाके. 6 राइट्स लिख रहे हो क्या? अभी छोड़ दो, ये ड्रॉ कर लो. 6 फंडामेंटल राइट्स बना रहे हो, बाद में बना लेना उसको. अभी ये ड्रॉ कर लो. स्पेस छोड़ दो, बाद में ड्रॉ कर लेना. हाँ, लिबरल इंटेलेक्चुअल, लिबरल इंटेलेक्चुअल। सेकंड वन इज गांधीयन, पूछ लिया करो जो ना समझ में आए, ठीक है। एंड थर्ड वन इज सोशलिज्म। क्लियर? एंड बोरोड फ्रॉम आयरलैंड एंड इन पार्ट 4। क्लियर ना? आई एम मूविंग द स्लाइड। ओके, नाउ ड्रा दिस फंडामेंटल ड्यूटी। क्लियर ना? हो गया। पार्ट 4 ए, स्वर्ण सिंह कमेटी रिकमेंडेशन 1976, बोरोड फ्रॉम यूएसएसआर। इनिशियली कितने थे? 10, लेटर इन 2002 1। डन। कुछ नहीं समझ में आया तो पूछ लो, ठीक है। स्पेलिंग या कुछ और, क्योंकि साफ साफ नहीं लिखा हुआ है। क्लियर? हो गया? हाँ, कुछ नहीं समझ में आएगा पूछ लेना बेटा। नोट ड्रा दिस सेकुलर स्टेट मीन्स राइट टू इक्वलिटी में है, देन आर्टिकल 25 टू 28 में है, देन 29 टू 30 है, देन आर्टिकल 44 मतलब यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। क्लियर? जो नहीं समझ में पूछ लेना। राइट टू इक्वलिटी, क्लियर ना? आर्टिकल 44 यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। हो गया? नोट ड्रा दिस इंडियन मॉडल ऑफ सेकुलरिज्म, वेस्टर्न मॉडल ऑफ सेकुलरिज्म। वाटर टाइट सेपरेशन है वेस्टर्न में, इंडियन में हाँ, स्टेट और रिलीजन, ठीक है। यहाँ पे इक्वी डिस्टेंस लिख लो, यानी हर रिलीजन से इक्वल डिस्टेंस है इंडिया में। और यहाँ पे वाटर टाइट सेपरेशन है, मतलब स्टेट अलग रिलीजन अलग। क्लियर? नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट करें, बना लिया? समझ में आ भी रहा है? हाँ, यूनिवर्सल एडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज ये तो पहले ही बना लिया था। ठीक है, अब रहने दो, पहले बनाया ना लास्ट टाइम पे। ये सिंगल सिटीजनशिप बना लो। ठीक है, इंडिया में क्या है, एक ही है, वन। अनलाइक यूएसए, यूएसए में क्या है, अमेरिका का भी है और स्टेट का भी है। क्लियर ना? डन। अनलाइक यूएसए याद रखना। नेक्स्ट करें। हाँ, इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडीज बना लो, कौन कौन सी हैं। बना लिया? ये इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया, देन कैग ऑफ इंडिया, एंड देन यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन। आर्टिकल्स भी लिख लेना सामने, 324, 148, 315। हो गया? आर्टिकल्स धीरे धीरे याद करो। अब इमरजेंसी लिख लो, नेशनल प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल। बन गया? डन। नॉट ड्रा दिस। ड्रा दिस डायग्राम, ठीक है। लोकल में दो है, पार्ट 9 इज फॉर पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशंस, पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशन। और 73rd कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट। क्लियर? 73rd कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एंड अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज, 74th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट। ये डायग्राम बना लो। डन। मतलब 73rd से पंचायती राज आया है और 74 से अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज। क्लियर? बन गया सारा डायग्राम? अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज पार्ट 9A। ठीक है, पार्ट 9A। Now I will dictate some point, write down. First, move to the next feature, that is synthesis of parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. Write down. Write down. Doctrine of sovereignty of parliament associated with British Parliament. Doctrine of sovereignty of parliament associated with British Parliament and principle of judicial supremacy associated with USA Supreme Court, American Supreme Court. Doctrine of sovereignty of parliament associated with British Parliament, associated with British Parliament. ठीक है, and principle of judicial supremacy with American Supreme Court. Indian Constitution is synthesis of both. Clear? Indian Constitution is synthesis of both. Next feature. Indian Constitution establishes a judicial system that is integrated as well as independent. Indian Constitution establishes a judicial system that is integrated and independent. Clear? और इंटीग्रेटेड जुडिशियल सिस्टम मीन्स वो डायग्राम बना है ना, क्लियर है, डिक्टेट नहीं कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। और यूएसए में क्या है, फेडरल लॉ, फेडरल कोर्ट इज फॉर फेडरल लॉ, लिख लो यूएसए में। फेडरल लॉज आर एनफोर्स्ड बाय फेडरल जुडिशरी एंड स्टेट लॉज आर एनफोर्स्ड बाय स्टेट जुडिशरी। दिस ये यूएसए में है, क्लियर। इंडिया में क्या है, और इंडिया में सुप्रीम कोर्ट मेनली तीन चीजें करता है, वो लिख लो। सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज अ हाईएस्ट कोर्ट ऑफ अपील, सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज अ हाईएस्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज, पहले लिखो, अ हाईएस्ट कोर्ट ऑफ अपील। is guarantor of fundamental right of the citizens. Second is guarantor of fundamental right of citizens. Is guarantor of fundamental right of citizens. And third is the guardian of the constitution. Is the guardian of constitution. Clear? And next feature is fundamental right. Next feature is fundamental right. ठीक है? And remember all those 6 fundamental rights with article. All those 6 fundamental rights with article. आर्टिकल भी लिख लो वहां जहां डायग्राम बनाए हो. 6 फंडामेंटल राइट्स लिखे हो ना अभी, या डायग्राम बनाए हो तो वहां कंप्लीट कर लेना उसको और आर्टिकल्स के साथ लिख लेना. यू विल हैव टू रिमेंबर द आर्टिकल्स आल्सो. ठीक है, जैसे राइट टू इक्वलिटी 14 टू 18 ऐसे याद होना चाहिए. क्लियर? एंड राइट टू फ्रीडम 19 टू 22 लर्न कर लोगे. हाँ पक्का. चलो नेक्स्ट फीचर इज डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. नेक्स्ट फीचर इज डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. एक स्टेटमेंट लिख लो वहां पे, ये पीसीएस में पूछता है कि ये किसका स्टेटमेंट है. डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी इज ए नॉवेल फीचर ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी इज ए novel feature of is a novel feature of DPSP's novel feature of Indian Constitution. ये किसका था? भीमराव अंबेडकर. भीमराव अंबेडकर का कोट है. क्लियर? बाकी तो सब पीछे डायग्राम में बना लियो ना, उसको लिखाना है. बोलो नहीं ना, समझ में आ रहा होगा. एंड नेक्स्ट इज द फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज. वहां जहां डायग्राम बनाए हो 1 वाला ऐड किए हो 2002, वहां 86 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट लिखा है. देखो 10 इनिशियल था 1976 में, तो 10 1976 लिख लो. लिखा? एंड जहां पे लिखा तुमने 1 2002 लिखा होगा ना वहां. हाँ तो वो कब हुआ था? 86 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट से, तो वो भी लिख लो, वो भी पूछता है एग्जाम में. अभी बनाए हो डायग्राम ना, मिला? कहाँ है बेटा तुम्हारा? तो लिखो ना वहां पे. 86 क्यों नहीं लिख रहे हो? 10+1 लिखे हो कि नहीं? छूट गया तुम्हारा डायग्राम? हाँ क्या हुआ बेटा? इंपॉर्टेंट है ना. 10 इनिशियली थे 1976 एंड 1 लेटर इन 2002 बाय 86. बनाओगे नहीं, भूल जाओगे सब. नेक्स्ट फीचर इज सेक्युलर स्टेट. Why India is secular state? Write down. Because it does not uphold any particular religion. It does not uphold any particular religion as the official religion of the Indian state. It does not uphold any particular religion as the official religion of the Indian state. Next लिख लो. Term secular added in 1976 by 42nd Constitutional Amendment. Term secular added in 1976 बाय 42nd कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट। क्लियर? नेक्स्ट लिखो, प्रिम्बल सिक्योर प्रिम्बल सिक्योर्स टू ऑल सिटीजन्स ऑफ इंडिया प्रिम्बल सिक्योर्स टू ऑल सिटीजन्स ऑफ इंडिया लिबर्टी ऑफ बिलीफ फेथ एंड वर्शिप लिबर्टी ऑफ बिलीफ फेथ एंड वर्शिप। ठीक है, देन आर्टिकल 14, 15, 16 लिख लो। आर्टिकल 14, 15 एंड 16। क्लियर? उस आर्टिकल में क्या है हम लोग फंडामेंटल राइट में पूरा डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे, अभी बस वहां स्पेस में लिख लो 14, 15, 16। देन 25, 26, 27, 28 ये भी लिख लो। ये सब तुम्हें लर्न करके लिखना पड़ेगा कि इंडिया में सेकुलरिज्म है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कौन कौन से प्रोविजंस हैं। तो कैसे बताओगे जब तक याद नहीं होगा? ठीक है, और ये हम लोग जब फंडामेंटल राइट्स पढ़ेंगे तो वहां पे एक एक डिस्कस करेंगे, तो अभी परेशान मत हो। ठीक है, अभी बस आर्टिकल्स याद रखो, कौन कौन से आर्टिकल हैं? 14, 15, 16, 25, 26, 27, 28 एंड 29, 30 लिखा। देन क्या है? आर्टिकल 44 यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। क्लियर? देन हमें इंडियन मॉडल ऑफ सेकुलरिज्म, पॉजिटिव है या नेगेटिव है इंडियन वाला? पॉजिटिव क्यों है बताओ? मतलब इक्वल रिस्पेक्ट टू ऑल रिलीजन ना, अनलाइक वेस्टर्न। वेस्टर्न में क्या है? निगेटिव है। निगेटिव क्यों है? क्यों? वाटर टाइट सेपरेशन है, बिल्कुल अलग अलग है। बना लियो ना डायग्राम, लिखवाएं? बोलो तो लिखवाएं, डिक्टेट करें। समझ में आ रहा है डायग्राम से? बोलो बेटा, समझ आ रहा है डायग्राम से तो बताओ, नहीं तो डिक्टेट कर दें। डायग्राम रहेगा सामने, बुकलेट से पढ़ोगे तभी समझ आ जाएगा, और एग्जाम में डायग्राम ड्रॉ कर दोगे तो मार्क्स भी एक्स्ट्रा मिलेंगे। क्लियर है? देन यूनिवर्सल एडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज एक्सप्लेन कर दिए उस टाइम पे भी, आज भी। लिखवाएं इसको, डायग्राम भी बना लियो कि पहले 18 था, अब कितना है? उस पहले 21 था, अब कितना है? 18। ये लिख लो अगर लिखना चाहो तो, कि इनिशियली 21 था, फिर बाद में 18 हो गया। और ये हुआ तुम्हारा 61st कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट से, तो ये लिख लो 61st कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट से हुआ है ये, फ्रॉम 21 टू 18। और उस टाइम पे राजीव गांधी पीएम थे, ये भी लिख लो। क्लियर ना? क्लियर है? ये याद रहेगा किस अमेंडमेंट से हुआ है और कब हुआ है, पहले 21 था बाद में 18 हुआ है। देन इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडीज एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है, आर्टिकल्स याद करना पड़ेगा तुम्हें धीरे धीरे करके। ठीक है, इलेक्शन कमीशन का क्या काम है? देखो अगर चाहो तो वहां लिख सकते हो इलेक्शन कमीशन का क्या काम है। ठीक है, देखो इलेक्शन कमीशन का मेन वर्क बाद में हम लोग फिर भी पढ़ेंगे, बट अभी भी लिख लो। देखो पार्लियामेंट का इलेक्शन करवाती है, किसका? पार्लियामेंट का, स्टेट असेंबलीज का। ठीक है, पार्लियामेंट में दोनों लोकसभा राज्यसभा, ये बना लो। और किसका? प्रेसिडेंट का और वाइस प्रेसिडेंट का, इतने इलेक्शन करवाती है। तो जहां लिखे हो वहां बना लो, चाहे अलग से बना लो। और कौन से आर्टिकल में है ये? आर्टिकल 324 है ना? क्लियर है? टफ तो नहीं लग रहा है बहुत ज्यादा? समझ में आ रहा है? अगर कहीं टफ लगे या कोई डाउट हो, कोई टर्म नहीं समझ में आए तो तुरंत पूछ लेना। हाँ, स्टेट असेंबली के लिए भी तो करवाता है, जो विधायक होते हैं उनके लिए भी ये इलेक्शन करवाता है। अच्छा, स्टेट में भी दोनों हाउस के लिए, विधानसभा विधान परिषद, विधानसभा और विधान परिषद। हो गया बेटा, डन। हाँ, अच्छा, लोकल गवर्नमेंट के लिए कौन इलेक्शन करवाता है? हाँ हाँ, स्टेट इलेक्शन कमीशन। तो लोकल गवर्नमेंट लिख के लिख लो साइड में, लोकल गवर्नमेंट इलेक्शन बाय स्टेट इलेक्शन कमीशन, लोकल गवर्नमेंट इलेक्शन बाय स्टेट इलेक्शन कमीशन। कंट्रोलर एंड ऑडिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया बताया था, कैग कौन सा आर्टिकल है? 148। ऑडिटर जनरल नाम ही है तो ऑडिट का काम करेगा। यूपीएससी है। फिर इमरजेंसी प्रोविजन, 3 टाइप की इमरजेंसी है, लिखवाने की जरूरत नहीं है ना अब। हाँ, और फिर ये 3 टियर गवर्नमेंट। डन, ठीक है। तो दिस वर योर सेलिएंट फीचर्स, ठीक है। और यही सब चीजें हमें आगे डिटेल में पढ़नी है आगे की क्लासेस में, ठीक है। तो अगर अभी तक कुछ डाउट हो, पीछे जो भी क्लास हुई है, ठीक है, ये समझ लो तुम्हारा ये एक इंट्रोडक्शन टाइप का था पूरे पॉलिटी का। अब हमें मेन पॉलिटी पढ़नी है और हम लोग स्टार्ट करेंगे मेनली प्रेम्बल से, ठीक है। कल की क्लास में हम लोग प्रेम्बल कवर करेंगे पूरा। प्रेम्बल लर्न है किसी को? प्रेम्बल जानते हो क्या होता है ना? क्या होता है? इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। तो लर्न है प्रेम्बल किसी को? किसी को नहीं लर्न है? याद तो भूल गए। चलो कोई बात नहीं, अगर याद है तो अच्छी बात है, लर्न है तो लर्न कर लो, नहीं याद है तो एटलीस्ट उसमें जो इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स हो वो पूरा हम कल एक्सप्लेन करेंगे, तो वो उसकी मीनिंग पता होनी चाहिए। दे विल आस्क यू इन द इंटरव्यू कि व्हाट आर द मीनिंग ऑफ द सेकुलर, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सोशलिज्म, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इंटीग्रिटी, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ लिबर्टी, जस्टिस, ऑल these terms are given in the preamble. So in interview generally if you have the option of public administration or political science, ठीक है, तो they will most probably they will ask you the question regarding preamble in your interview. And that's not necessary कि if you have option of PubEd and PSIR, only then they will ask question in interview regarding preamble. It is also important for GS paper 2. They will ask question like if preamble is the soul of the constitution, explain or comment. So you'll have to explain the all the terms, important terms which has been written in the preamble. Yeah, they will ask question like if preamble is the basic philosophy of the Indian constitution. So again you will have to explain all the terms given in the preamble. And while explaining the term, you will have to give the articles ki how this term is given in the Indian constitution. For example, in preamble there is a word called secular. So how India is secular, that is further given in the constitution, in fundamental rights, in DPSP, ठीक है। तो while writing you will have to explain. Clear? So we will cover all these topics in the next lecture. Any doubt? No.